Hi there, I just trust that you are doing so very well. It's been quite a long time. I have been busy on other projects that were actually taking my time, but I'm back here again. Today I'm going to have to tell you something that happened some time ago that was in the last year, actually in 2020. We are now in 2021. And Citizen Lab researchers did come up with a finding. They came out with a report, and that report was at the University of Toronto. They published a report detailing how 36 journalists were hacked. You heard me right. 36 journalists were actually being hacked, and they were victim of a spying system. Now you might be wondering where actually were these journalists from. They were not from any low state or any hidden or any covered media stream. They were actually from a renowned media stream. They were from Al Jazeera. In a way, we are all victim of a spying society. We are victim of a spying system.
With the click of a button, you can bring down nations to their knees very rapidly, if you so desire, and if you're willing to take the risks.
That's really what happens. Thank you for subscribing. I'm so happy to have you. We've really beaten the rock. We are now at 74, and it's all due to you. I'm so grateful for you coming back, sharing the content, and so grateful. Today I'm going to have to tell you, I'm going to have to share some tips. Actually, you can actually improve your digital presence. This is what we are going to do this very time around, how you can improve your digital presence. So let's do this together. I want you to take your system, go to any search engine that you want. It might be Facebook, it might be Google, it might be Yahoo, it might be Hotmail, it might be MSN, it might be Bing, it might be Wow. Just do something, type in your name there. And when you type in your name, tell me what you are seeing. Do you feel happy with what you are seeing? Are you happy with what's coming up? Where is your name appearing from? Your name only showing on Facebook, or is your name only showing on Facebook and LinkedIn? Are you happy with the presence you have there? If you are happy with what you've seen there, you could just probably comment and say, yes, I'm extremely happy with what I'm seeing there. If you are not too happy with how you're seeing there, you could just probably also put it in the comment section below and say that you are really not too happy with what you are seeing there. If you are somehow happy with what you are seeing, after you type in your name, you could also type in there and say you are somehow happy. Just put your feeling of what you feel about what you've seen there. And today, I'm going to have to share with us really how you can improve your digital presence. I did a sketch some time ago where that was don't let social media ruin your career success, and this is a continuation of that, because let me tell you the truth, you are victim of a spy society, and beginning from nations which are spying on you, beginning on intelligence that are being gathered about you, all the way to even most of those apps that we have on our phones are actually, most of these apps on these phones are actually spying on us. Haven't you noticed that sometimes when you Google on a particular topic, the next thing you begin to receive emails on that, or you see them popping up on your phone? And not only are government, not only are app design and developers spying on you, but also recruiters are spying on you. You heard me right. Recruiters are actually spying on you. And how do we do that? Very simple. Very simple. We use information that is available for everyone to see. We use information that is available on social media platform. We use information on what people say about you on the social media. People post about you, the responses that people make about you, or from the posts that you have made, or responses that you make. And those are the information that we use to be able to access you. Social media has actually become a go-to place for recruiters. It's this now, where especially physical interviews are being reduced, and so the chances and the opportunity for people to make about you, to make things about you, to perceive you, is on your social media post and platform. Sadly. And this is very sad, because a lot of persons have actually lost their job before the interview date. A lot of persons have not been called for interview because of what is on their social media, what a recruiter has read about them. Believe it or not, I'm going to have to tell you this: life is all about perception, and most often we are victim of a wrong perception. It's not always the best. Believe this to me, and I'm opening my eyes, remove my glasses to let you know, it's not always the best candidate that gets the job. Most often, it's the perception that the board is having. One time, at a point in time, we are going to have to talk about storytelling. At a point in time, we are going to talk about acting your way to the role. These are very, very important. My glasses back. Recruiters are looking beyond your CVs. Recruiters are looking beyond the application that you submit. Recruiters are looking beyond what you say in your application about yourself. No, we are going further. The first thing that happens whenever I get something, I'm looking at a candidate, the first thing I do is type in the candidate name on Google, and then move on to LinkedIn, and then start also profiling the person. Going to Facebook, I do that, and I must confess, I'm not the only person that does that. We are increasingly using social media to evaluate candidates in the recruitment process. Reports have shown, and if you talk to most recruiters, you find out that most recruiters will tell they go to Facebook, they go to LinkedIn, they go to Instagram. And I've had a lot of calls that were from LinkedIn. Apparently, LinkedIn makes for 77% for most research place. Facebook makes 63%. Instagram makes 24%. WhatsApp status make 1%. So please, for you people who keep posting things on your status, and your recruiter or a potential recruiter has access to it, that could make or mar your success. So today I'm going to have to give us certain rules of engagement on how you can actually make your way and impress a recruiter. Tell me, I've told you it's about impression, so create the impression. The product is you, you are a digital product there, you are a personal project there, and use all your avenues to be able to do that. So number one rule, don't share too much. Do not share too much. You have probably heard the statement by law enforcement agents whenever they are arresting somebody, or probably you've been arrested, and then you hear them say that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say could be held against you, and that is so true. Recruiters also do that. So you have to make use of social media, but don't say too much. Don't say the party you went to and you got drunk. Don't say how you cheated on someone. Don't say how you didn't go to work and then you find yourself somewhere and you pretended. If you even have to miss an event at the cost of a recruiter's time, for example, you are supposed to be an event on a particular time, a particular day, you didn't show up, you call in to give whatever excuse you wanted to give in, and then you were an event, a social gathering event, be sure not to ever post that where your recruiter, current recruiter, could see it, or be sure not to post that where someone who knows that you're supposed to be in your workplace is seeing that. That could be tantamount, could be used against you in the future. by either the current recruiter who will discover it and then tell a potential recruiter in the future. So be smart enough, don't say too much. Rule number 2. You might think that the social media is your personal space, isn't it? Of course, it's your social life, it's your personal space. You have the right to say anything, your right of expression. But your spelling can become your falling point. A lot of recruiters now are actually looking for the best candidate, the perfect candidate, and one way a lot of us, I'm gracious to some extent, a lot of us actually look for is how you are spelling. Now, interesting enough, I'll tell you, we can be very lenient when it comes to how your spelling goes on SMSs, how your spelling goes on your WhatsApp profile, your WhatsApp status. We can be lenient how your spelling goes on Facebook. But when it comes to LinkedIn, a lot of recruiters are merciless, and leniency becomes a law that is never applicable. When it comes to Twitter, a lot of recruiters are not lenient. So as much as possible, try to avoid the shortcut, the short forms. They might end up not doing justice for you. So be careful of your spelling. It's very, very important, especially on sites that are actually professional social media sites. Rule number 3. Plan your posting. Hey, it's not that we are fishing out for bad content, okay? When we are checking you on social media, we are looking at certain things I need to know. We are looking at your time management skills. We are looking at your productivity and organizational skill. When we see somebody actually who is posting at very alarming frequency, that's to say, if you post once a day, that's a lie. If you post once a week, that's understandable. If you post once a month, that is understandable. If you post twice a day, that's understandable. If you post twice a week, that's understandable. But if your posting become 4 times a day, 3 times a day, and your role is not a social media related role, then there's a cause for alarm. That to a recruiter, remember, it is about perception. That to a recruiter means that you are not having good use of your time, you are not being productive, you are a chit chatter box. You really are you are likely to cheat on employers' time, whiling time on social media. And so the perception game comes into play. I'm going to have to tell you raw as it is, and that's what happened in the mind of the recruiter when we say that. Rule number 4, being deliberate, be intentional in your posting. You are a communication officer in your own right. And you use every medium possible to be able to brand yourself, to communicate your brand. And because of that, you have to be very, very intentional in your posting. Don't just post about anything. Post things that will be able to portray you as the person you want a recruiter to perceive you as. If you want to be seen as someone who is creative, do it creative. If you want to be seen as somebody who loves his work, show yourself. If you want to be seen yourself as somebody who is organized, who has commitment, show those things. It does not matter whether it's in family setting, whether it's in social gathering, whether it is in workplace setting, but you must be deliberate. You see, not all your real life friends are supposed to be your social media friends. Nada. So you don't have to accept any person who is asking for a friendship, whether they cry or not, and say that, why didn't you accept my friendship? It doesn't matter. Not all your real life friends are supposed to be your social media friends. What you post, because, why am I saying because what you post can affect you, how the response to your post can affect you, how you also respond to their post can affect you. And if you have somebody who is always never serious and always saying things that you're likely to answer back or fidget back, or other people could make jeering at, do not allow them to be your friends. It's point blank. And be intentional also about the type of group you join. Don't join any manner of group. You know, somebody once came and that person did say that they have a skill, they have administrative skills. And why did they say that they have administrative skills? They said that they actually have been able to, they're administrators and been able to manage certain social media platforms. So being an administrator, a social media platform administrator, is not a skill. Well, for them that is, maybe in some setting, yes, it could be accepted, but in generally, really. So you need to be intentional, not just any post, not just anybody, not just anyhow. Plan your post. It's about you, it's about your branding. And because it's about you, it's about a branding, I want you to, one thing probably you could do, go back and go back to take an advert, a lesson advertisement. Advert. How do you brand a product? How do you communicate the product? Be creative in your writing. Write things that shows that you are passionate about certain things, certain causes, or the things you do. Things that project you to a recruiter who sees you and who can also make a perception about you. Communicate that. Inform. Because it's about branding, I remember in marketing classes, I was taught that the reason when you are for an advert is to inform. So you must be passing out information in the mind of the potential recruiter of who you are, of an employer who you are. You must also make posts that reminds them of the fact that you are good, of the fact that you are a potential person. You must also persuade that you have done that. Show what you have done. Don't just tell it. Also your pictures, your stories, tell those things. So it's very, very important. Sometimes you see on LinkedIn, you see people posting accolades of things of achievement they have done. It's intentional. It's intentional because they want a recruiter to see that they actually are going through processes of development, of growth, and of changes. But be careful also. Be careful because even as a recruiter, remember I told you it's about perception. So yeah, as a recruiter, when I wake up on Monday morning, I see Ansel posting, putting a certificate in people management. I said that's good. Then on Tuesday or another day, again I see him posting something on project management. I said that's good. But if I also, after that again, I see something on cooking, on kitchen art, and then the next thing I see something on how to sell honey. Now I start being suspicious, because for me that shows that this person does not actually have direction. So every accolade that you post there must be consistent with a certain direction that you want a recruiter to perceive about you. It's about branding. Remember, it's about you. Making also using that perception to create, using those advantages to create a perception of who you are. We are not in the business of building your own personal narratives. It's your own business to create your own personal narrative. Take this again. It is not in another person's role to create a personal narrative about who you are, what you are. It is your role to create a narrative about who you are. Whether you like it or not, there's always a narrative about you. But you can tell the story. You can present the case, you can design in such a way that you are informing people about of a narrative of who you are, who you want to be, reminding them and then persuading them that you fit into that role. So don't let the social media become your doom. Use it to your own advantage. Once again, my name is Ansem and I'm your career breakthrough sidekick. I'm so happy to be here again, and then we are moving on. We'll have more contents available. I'm so happy. I've been getting calls. I've been getting people reaching out on 111. Some of them, interesting enough, are actually not them. I've never actually subscribed here, but that's okay. It's very understandable. But pass the news if you feel that this very content was very useful, if you feel that somebody deserves to hear that, if you feel that it's going to help somebody in their own career breakthrough, just reach out to them and then let them know. And I'm just a touch button away. Type in, ask me anything you want to ask me, and I will be able to just provide the answer. My happiness is to see that you're happy, and that will always make me happy. Thank you so much. I do wish that you have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you and goodbye.